Welcome to the deep dive. If you run a business, you probably have one employee who works harder than anyone else. I mean, this one never sleeps, never takes a vacation.
And is always ready to greet a customer, even at, say, 3 a.m.
Exactly. We're talking, of course, about your website.
Yeah.
And it's no longer just, a digital brochure. It's your 24/7 digital storefront. But the big question is that storefront actually attracting customers, or is it silently driving them away?
And that's what we're digging into.
Right. Our mission today is to take a deep dive into the source material, the psychological studies, the tech data, all of it, to really uncover the secrets to transforming that site into a customer magnet.
And the stakes here are so high because that judgment, the one that matters, happens faster than you can possibly imagine.
Okay, let's just jump right in with what has to be the most surprising fact in our research.
I think I know which one you mean.
The 50 millisecond test. The research shows that visitors form a complete impression of your website and, by extension, your whole business in just 50 milliseconds. Yeah.
It's literally faster than a blink of an eye.
It's insane. You think people are there to read your headlines, to look at your features, but no. That split-second decision about whether they trust you, it's already been made.
It's purely instinctual, and it's all rooted in these cognitive shortcuts our brains take. There are two big psychological principles at play here. The first is something called the halo effect.
Okay.
So if the design looks polished and professional, even before you read a single word, you automatically grant the entire business more credibility.
So a beautiful website makes people think you run a competent professional service.
You've got it. And the reverse is also true.
Right. So if I see, poor quality images or clunky fonts, the halo effect works against you. The visitor just assumes the business behind it is probably also a bit chaotic or low quality.
Exactly right. Which ties directly into the second principle, anchoring bias. And that very first visual, the quality of the main image, the layout, it sets an anchor point for everything else they experience.
So if that anchor is bad, say, I open a site and the first thing I see is one of those cheesy, generic stock photos of people in suits shaking hands.
Oh, that's a classic.
Does that just sink my credibility immediately?
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Your brain's shortcut is telling you, this isn't authentic. I've seen this a million times before. The sources are really clear on this. There are essentially no second chances. It's like online dating or picking a restaurant from the outside. If it looks untrustworthy, you lose them.
Okay, so you pass the 50 millisecond test. Your site is aesthetically trustworthy. Phew. But you're not done.
Not even close.
Now you have maybe, 4.5 more seconds to prove your worth? This brings us to the critical 5-second checklist.
Right. The aesthetic trust you just earned buys you a tiny bit of time to answer 3 core questions. And they have to be answered almost instantly, right on the homepage. No scrolling, no hunting.
Okay, so what's question number 1?
The first one is, who are you? Simple as that. Is this site relevant to my need right now? You need a clear headline, a value proposition that says, you're in the right place.
And the second one feels even more urgent. Can I trust this business?
Yes. Does it look legitimate? This is where you need easy-to-find contact info, maybe some security seals, just signs of an active, real business.
And the third one, which is all about the user experience.
Is it easy to find what I need? Can I navigate quickly? Is the menu confusing? Is the Buy Now button buried somewhere at the bottom of the page? If it is, you've failed the 5-second test.
So these 3 questions are really a test of immediate survival. If you can't define yourself, show you're credible, and point me in the right direction in 5 seconds, you don't deserve my time.
Precisely. That's the difference between a high bounce rate and a new customer.
Okay, so if that's the diagnosis for survival, what's the actual prescription? How do we build this? Our sources break this down using a framework called the 7 C's, plus 3 essential additions.
Yes, so 10 critical elements in total. And to make this a bit more actionable, maybe we can group them into, say, 3 categories: presentation, validation, and action.
Great idea. Let's start with presentation and flow. Which elements are we talking about here?
That's where context and content come in. Context is all about a clean, intuitive layout that matches your brand and, more importantly, what your audience expects. A bank's website should feel secure and serious.
While a creative agency can be a bit more playful.
Exactly. Then you have content. That's your messaging. It has to be clear, benefit-driven, and paired with great visuals. And remember, don't just say what you do, explain what you do for the user.
Got it. So that covers the initial look and feel. What about the elements that build immediate validation and trust?
That's where you find community and credibility. That's one of the additions. Community is just social proof. Testimonials, reviews, logos of clients you've worked with,
Things that show other people trust you.
instantly. And credibility is about professional design backed by transparent information. I mean, it's amazing how many sites hide their About Us page or their contact info. That feels shitty.
It really does. Which I guess leads to another C.
It does. Communication. Just make it incredibly easy for visitors to contact you. A phone number, a chat widget, a simple form. Don't make them work for it.
Okay, so we've covered presentation and trust. What about the elements that actually drive action and personalization?
That's the rest of them. First, customization. This is becoming more and more important, tailoring the experience to different visitors.
And then connection, which I'm guessing is the technical side.
Yeah, your site has to be fast, it has to be mobile-friendly, and it has to be accessible. Then, of course, the big one, commerce.
The reason you have the site in the first place.
Right. Clear, compelling calls to action, your CTAs, that guide people to convert, to sign up, to buy. The path should be unmistakable.
And what about the last two additions to the 7Cs?
The sources add two more technical must-haves. First is consistency. The branding, the colors, the navigation. It has to be uniform on every single page. Nothing breaks trust faster than clicking a link and feeling like you've landed on a totally different website.
That's a huge pet peeve of mine.
And finally, compliance. This is non-negotiable now. Meeting accessibility standards and having robust security. Users absolutely demand it, and frankly, it can be a legal issue if you don't.
So if those 10 elements are the recipe for success, it feels like a few of them, especially on the technical side, are absolute deal breakers.
They are. This is where a perfectly designed site can just completely fall apart. We're talking about speed and mobile optimization.
The stats here are just staggering. Let's look at the 53% mobile abandonment rate. Over half of your mobile users will leave if your site takes more than 3 seconds to load.
3 seconds. It's nothing. But our expectation, which has been set by giants like Google and Amazon, is for things to be instantaneous. You make me wait even a little bit, I assume your business is slow, and I'm gone.
And it's worse because, over half of all web traffic is on mobile now?
Over 50% globally. So if you haven't optimized your mobile experience, you are actively telling the majority of your potential customers that you don't care about them.
But the flip side is huge. The sources show that fast-loading sites can see up to 3 times higher conversion rates.
The incentive is massive. Speed builds trust. It's that simple.
And let's tie this all back to that initial 50-millisecond test. Design isn't just about looking pretty. The sources say that 94% of first impressions are directly related to design quality.
That's right. Visual confidence is everything. This means lots of white space giving elements room to breathe. It means professional typography that's easy to read. And, maybe most importantly, it means using high-quality, authentic images, not those generic stock photos.
Because if the photos look fake...
Then people assume your business might be too.
Right. And you can see how this all plays out in the real-world examples from our sources. These aren't just abstract ideas. They have a real impact on the bottom line.
Totally.
Take the tech startup success story. Their site was loading in about 5 seconds, and it was full of complicated jargon. So they simplified their headline to one clear, benefit-driven sentence and got their load time under 2 seconds. The result?
A 30% increase in conversions, just from clarity and speed.
Amazing. Then there's the boutique hotel breakthrough. Their site had these beautiful but generic stock photos of beaches.
Photos that could have been from anywhere.
Exactly. They boosted bookings by 25% just by replacing them with authentic photos of their actual property and adding some personalized content for different types of travelers.
Which is the perfect lesson on how to avoid the most common mistakes. The first big one is just visual overload. Too many animations, videos that autoplay with sound, aggressive pop-ups.
Oh, the pop-ups you can't figure out how to close. The worst. And another is what we've been saying, generic imagery. Using those same old stock photos just screams impersonal.
And then there are the navigation nightmares. Confusing menus, hidden contact info. It's just frustrating for the user.
And the last one, the silent killer. Technical neglect, ignoring security, not having that little padlock icon. Modern users notice that stuff, and it immediately breaks trust.
It really does.
So we've gone through the psychology, the frameworks, the pitfalls. Now I want to pivot to you, the listener, as you're thinking about your own digital storefront. We've covered these common mistakes. What stands out to you? I mean, if you've recently redesigned a site, what did you do that worked?
Yeah, did you fix a navigation nightmare? Did focusing on just one of the 7 C's really move the needle for you?
We'd love to hear about it. Leave us a comment and tell us what paid dividends for your business.
When you connect all this to the bigger picture, the sources really confirm one thing. treating your website as a strategic investment in clarity, speed, and trust. It's not optional anymore. It's how you turn those fleeting first impressions into lasting customer relationships and revenue.
Absolutely. Your site is working for you 24/7. It's your most valuable asset. You have to make every single millisecond count.
Which leaves us with a final question for you to think about. Given that the data says 94% of that first judgment is design-related, if you had to prioritize improving just one of the 7 C's tomorrow, context, content, community, customization, communication, connection, or commerce, which single one do you think would give you the highest return on that instant 50-millisecond trust judgment?
A great question to chew on. Think about where your business needs the most help. We'll see you next time.